Have you ever wondered what you take with you for 5 days of fast packing? I mean, you want to make sure you have everything you need and you're really prepared, but you're carrying all your gear when you run, so you also want it to be as lightweight as possible. In this video, I'm going to show you what I'm taking for 5 days fast packing the South Hams way. Hi, I'm Shauna, this is Shauna's World. Welcome back to my channel where I make videos for regular runners showing the raw, unfiltered journey. If that sounds like something you might be interested in, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Shauna's World. Okay, I'm here on my bedroom floor. I have been packing for the last couple of days and making sure I have everything I need, but I'm going to be fast packing the South Hams way tomorrow. It's a 101 circular trail that goes pretty much from my front door. I'm aiming to do it over 5 days. I'm going to be wild camping most nights, but spending one of the nights in nice accommodation. That'll be much appreciated when that comes along. But I just wanted to share a packing video, everything I'm taking with me, and this is as a chronically disorganized person and also someone who doesn't invest in all the best lightweight kit right away. I like to be frugal with my running and camping kit and not contribute to excess waste, and I also don't have an abundance of spare money to spend on kit. So for the most part, it's a mixture of some really good quality lightweight stuff and also some older stuff that I just still have and I'm waiting for it to completely wear out before I'm considering investing in lots of other things. Lots of it's secondhand, lots of it's very old, some of it's new, but I'll talk you through what I'm bringing and maybe a little bit about why. And I'm definitely not saying that my way is right. This is me doing the best I can with what I have. Of course, packing for an adventure like this, you want to take as much as is going to make you comfortable and feel like you have everything you need, but you also want to be carrying as little as possible. So I'm feeling a bit chaotic. I'm kind of all over my room. I've half packed, I've taken things out, I've made sure I've got everything I need. But I'll just talk you through what I'm doing, and I will start with the food because I was fully packed and my bag felt really full, and that was before I'd added most of the food to it. So I've been prepping today and I'll show you the food I'm taking with me. So this is the nutrition flat lay, as it were. So here we have breakfast. So I've made up baggies with oats, a good amount of oats, Huel powder, Huel black, which is very nutritionally dense and it's got protein and carbs and fats and all kinds of nutrients. I've got nuts, I've got seeds, I've got dried fruit in there. So that is supposed to be a really kind of high calorie and nutrient dense breakfast I can have every day, just adding hot water. And one of my breakfasts I'm going to be eating out. I've also got coffee. I've got a bag of decaf and a bag of caffeinated. So I'm going to try to stick mostly to this decaf because caffeine messes with my system, but I do recognise when I'm going to be running all day every day I might need a caffeine boost every now and then. Then lunches, I've made up 5 peanut butter and jam sandwiches. I was very liberal with the peanut butter and jam. I know I could save more space and weight if I bought more of this kind of freeze-dried stuff, but I really struggle in the middle of the day when I'm running to actually prep food. So I've just made up sandwiches wrapped in foil that I can whip one out every day and not have to stop too much on my run. And then dinners, I have these fire pot meals. I got the big ones, which are a bit more high calorie. They're kind of around the 750, 800, 850 mark. So I'll have those 3 of the nights, and then one of the nights I'm planning to eat out. And then the rest of what I've got is predominantly snacks. Snacks are really important because they'll be for eating on the go. So I think the first thing to mention is these Phoenix bars, which I just came across. I saw them recommended somewhere. They're really lightweight. That's 120 grams, doesn't weigh a lot. That's 550 calories. As well as being used for endurance sports, they're also used for medical needs. So people who struggle to eat enough and get their calorie intake, these are recommended for them. So I've got 6 of those, which is a really good energy boost when I need it. And then for my immediate energy boosts, rather than taking gels, which are expensive and I would get through a lot very fast, I've got sweets. I kind of wish I had more because that sugar boost is huge and I'm kind of used to getting that when I'm running races and stuff. I make sure I'm really fueling well with gels and sweets, but I just can't carry enough for that. So I've got 3 packets of Candy Kittens. I've got yogurt covered raisins, which is a treat, Stroop waffles, cereal bars, a whole bunch of cereal bars, and then I've got Baby Bells, which I guess are a good calorie boost, but also they're a salty snack, and that's often what I'm craving when I'm eating a lot of sweet things, because I need the energy boost when I'm moving, and then I really want the saltiness. I know when I'm doing these kind of things, I end up in cafes more than I intend to. I'm trying to limit that. I'm planning for probably 1 dinner, maybe 2 dinners out and 1 breakfast out. but we will see. I am on a budget, but I also, yeah, I definitely know that when I'm out, I will do anything to seek comfort when I'm kind of moving all day. So we'll see how that goes. And then in terms of everything else I'm bringing, so the backpack, we have, what is this? It's Montaigne. I got it on eBay last year. It's 32 litre. But I had issues with it when I went fast packing last year because I didn't realise exactly what had happened, but the foam at the back has kind of moulded out of place. And I sent it off to my friend Cedar, who runs a outdoor gear repairs company called Fixed by Cedar, and they had a really good look at it and kind of molded it back into shape, but they did say it isn't perfect. And actually, now that I've packed it and have all my stuff in it, it does seem to have warped again, and I think it is going to cause me an issue. And honestly, like, I know it's just foam, but last time it really caused me a lot of pain after the first day, to the point of barely being able to run. So I'm talking to Cedar about potential emergency remedies on the way, like cutting the foam out altogether, and they're helping me out with a plan for if it's not working right. And then in terms of what is in my backpack, so I have a Nemo Air sleep mat. It's a good mat, but it's had some holes in it. They have been repaired, but it is still leaking a bit overnight, and they couldn't work out where it's coming from. I can't work out where it's coming from. I do sleep well, and it's not the end of the world, and actually I'm hoping it'll help me get up in the morning, but I do think I'm going to need to replace this at some point soon. And then for my tent, I've got a Vango Ultralight 100. This is about 20 years old, or just shy of 20 years old. So I'm assuming they don't make it anymore, and I'm assuming you can get much more lightweight tents. So it is one I probably will upgrade at some point, but it's still working fine, and it is pretty lightweight. So I just wish it kind of packed down a bit smaller because it takes a lot of space. And then my sleeping bag, I'm not going to get out because it is very much packed away and in a stuff sack, but it's a Rab Solar Eco 3 sleeping bag. It is warm. It goes down to about -4, I think, which should be more than I need for this trip. Okay, and then for cooking, I have a jet boil. It boils water really, really fast. This is old and it has seen better days. It's non-stick, so when it peels, you should replace it because it's dangerous. And it got really burned on the bottom. And the last fast packing trip I did, I actually couldn't eat the food I'd brought. I couldn't cook with it because the burn taste was so horrendous. But I've been kind of boiling vinegar, I've been putting citric acid, I've been putting bicarb, lots of different things, and the burn hasn't all come off, but it's no longer, there's nothing coming off when I'm cooking with it. So it's not ideal, I should replace it, but I love this bit of kit. It's so quick to cook with. And then I've also got a canister of gas. I probably could have gone smaller on the gas, and I panicked when I was ordering it because I was worried about running out, but I'm only out for a few nights and I just never really know how long these things last. You can get gas canisters that are small enough to fit inside the jet boil, which really helps with packing. I'll pop matches, obviously I'll pop those in there. Okay, I see a little bit of space beyond, so try and stuff that in there. I also have a whistle for emergencies and a head torch, which hopefully will, it's a good head torch, it's really bright, great for running. I'm hoping to be at camp before dark every day. It's good for running if I need it, and it'll be great at camp. Other accoutrements, I also have a mini Sawyer water filter system. I have used these before, but this is my first time owning it. I've borrowed other people's, so I'm not going to pack this now because I need to test it out and make sure I know how to use it all before I take it to kind of a dirty stream. But these are really good. You can drink pretty much any water if you filter through this. And then for water, I'm also taking 2 litres in soft flasks. I'm aiming to have 2 full at any time, so I've got a litre of water on me. I'll keep one 500ml bottle of water in my front pocket of my backpack, and then another one kind of easily to swap in. The other 2 are more for at camp to make sure I have enough for like boiling water and stuff. I'm going to aim to camp near places with water sources, but it's hard to know exactly what along the way I'll find. And then also for my kind of hygiene stuff, I have a trowel for digging a hole for a poo. And then I was going to bring toilet roll, as you do. Toilet roll is quite bulky and I don't know how much I need. And someone recommended this little thing to me, which is a bum gun attachment. Obviously it means you must make sure you have an abundance of water to be able to use it for. But you just kind of attach it. You can use different size bottles. It kind of goes in like a cork, and attach it into your bottle like that, and when it's full of water you can do that and it just squirts like a bum gun, and then you can wash instead of having to use toilet roll. Okay, this I don't need to really talk about, but I need to make sure I pack it. That's my debit card. That is, but we very much need to make sure that that is okay. Absolutely not to be forgotten. And then I've got a first aid kit, and in here I have KT tape, an adhesive bandage, lots of blister plasters, and scissors. I've got paracetamol, ibuprofen, and antihistamine, and I think some antiseptic wipes. And then I've also got bringing my own medication and inhaler, which is very important to take because we want to be able to breathe, and we want to be able to take the mental health medications so we don't lose our minds while out in the dark on our own in a new place. So clothes to camp, actually I don't have my clothes I'm going to be wearing with me now because I washed them after a run on Saturday, but I'm going to be wearing for the run predominantly shorts. I've got some long kind of Nike dry fit shorts that I really rate for running because they avoid the thigh chafe, and then under that I have chafe free underwear, which are essentially shorts also to avoid the rubbing. And then I'm just going to wear a technical t-shirt. I'm going to be wearing my 1000 mile socks, double layer ones. I swear by them for this kind of thing. And then I have 1000 mile kind of thick woolly socks for camp. So when I'm sleeping or like chilling out at camp, so I have really warm tootsies. Another warm thing for camp is I've got this buff. It's a Buff branded one, and it's kind of like a woolly, but it's synthetic, but it's like woolly material, and then it's fleece lined, and like having that around my neck while I'm sleeping always just keeps me so warm, and it is quite thick and bulky, but I do get quite cold at night, so I think it is a really good thing to have. And then also merino wool base layer, like bottoms and top for night for camp. And then I've got a hat, which is an Ultimate Performance. It's like very lightweight synthetic stretchy thing, but it's a little bit fleece lined, so it's a bit warm. And then I've got a fleece layer. I think this will, yeah, just be for camp. It's quite a thick jumper, and an insulated jacket. This is quite an old one, but it's from Salomon. It's got a few holes, but it's like, it served me so well, and it will be really good for camp. It does pack down quite small as well. It's synthetic, not down, and I don't buy down because I'm vegetarian. I do occasionally borrow it, but it does mean that if it gets wet, it's not as much impact. If you get down wet, it just doesn't work at all. Getting all of the clothes packed in as best as possible. Oh, and then I also, I couldn't fit this in my first aid kit, but I wanted to. I have a emergency bivvy shelter, which is, you know, if I get stuck in bad weather, just so I can shelter until emergency services get there. Fingers crossed I won't be using that one. And then I have tech stuff. So I am bringing my GoPro, which you can't see because I'm filming on it right now. And that's where I'm going to be mainly vlogging for YouTube. And I've got the GoPro Shorty mount, which is the kind of stick that's on. It's a little mini tripod. And then I also, this is in a separate bit, I'm not start talking about this, I'm being a bit chaotic. I've also got a front pouch because I was worried about not fitting everything into my backpack. And it's also really helpful to have some things accessible. So in here, I have another GoPro Shorty stick with a phone holder. So this will be my phone vlogging thing, and that does maybe feel a bit extra to have both, but when I get content for Instagram I do it on my phone, and when I get it for YouTube I do it on my GoPro, and it's just good. It just helps me to be organized. In here I've also got anti-chafe. I use bum butter. I really like this. I was using Vaseline for ages and it just wasn't holding as well, and I was really having chafe issues. Sun cream, I wish this was smaller, but I get through a lot of sun cream and it is due to be quite sunny, and this is called Supergoop Play, which sounds like it's maybe something else. It's not. It's waterproof sun cream. It's really good for sport. I've got in here a spare GoPro battery and my inhaler, so I've got those to hand. And I will also put my immediate snacks that I might be needing that day or like want easy access to in here. I have a tin camping mug, which I borrowed from a housemate, but actually I have a Salomon collapsible cup, which is really small and not that enjoyable to drink out of, but I've got it for like ultras. I might bring that instead of this just to save a bit of weight and space because this is quite bulky. I also have a spork. I did find a spork. I don't know where it is. Where did it? Oh, I mean, you know what a spork looks like. I have a spork. I'm not doing this in a very logical order. I have so much respect for people who do organised packing videos. I don't think this bodes very well for the time I'm about to spend outside. Oh, I haven't been drinking my coffee. Oh yeah, back to tech. Where were we? So I'm actually, this is maybe controversial, but I've got 2 of these battery packs, which are pretty heavy. I haven't weighed them, but they are pretty heavy, but they hold so much charge. I am going to be charging my phone, my GoPro, my head torch, potentially my watch, but that should hold. Maybe my headphones. Some of those things are not urgent, like I can live without headphones, but like GoPro and phone are, to me, essentials to have charged, and head torch. So I'm bringing plenty of battery power. And then I am also staying at an accommodation on the 3rd night so that I can recharge these and recharge everything, because, you know, one of these really only gets me through a day when I'm charging everything. So I just want to make sure I'm on top of things and have enough. It is a chunk of weight, but it feels worth it to me. And then I also just have a few little USBs. I have a USB multi-plug with multiple ports there, which I have for the night I'm staying in accommodation, so I can make sure I can charge everything. And then I just have my GoPro battery charging case with an extra, so I've got 2 spare batteries with me plus the one in the camera, spare SD card in case I run out or lose one. Please don't lose one. And that is all of those things. Headphones, did I say that? I think I did. I've also put my phone in this case from Case Bus, which I got specially for this because I have struggled with the waterproofness of my phone when I'm out in the rain for a long thing. So this case is shockproof, waterproof, and it has a screen protector. I've just gone through my list and realised I haven't packed gloves, which I must do because I don't think I'll massively need them, but like if the weather turns or there's one day that's due to be rainier and colder, or at night, I think they're important to have. Going through everything else. So I think that's pretty much everything. The only other things I have to pack, well, I haven't finished packing yet because it's all a bit kind of carnage on the floor, in my bed, on my floor. But I hope this gives you a good idea. I'm also bringing a toothbrush. I'm not being one of those people who cuts the handle off their toothbrush to save a few grams of weight, much as I would like to be that dedicated to the cause. And then I'm taking a little mini toothpaste. Oh, and trail shoes. I did tell you what I was going to be wearing, but I didn't mention the shoes. So I'm going to be wearing my normal Tomir trail shoes, which I really like. I actually feel a little bit more on top of things for kind of talking this through. I think I have pretty much everything here. I also need to get some cash out. That is on the list for tonight. So I've got my card, but taking spare cash. I'd like to weigh it all and see what my final weight is, because I think it's quite a lot. You know, I hear people fast packing multiple days with like 7 kilograms of stuff, and this is going to be more than that. I mean, I know there's really lightweight gear, but also people, you know, maybe not taking so much food or whatever. But for me, I think like fueling is really important for having a good time. If I'm hungry, I'm going to be grumpy, and then it's not going to be that fun a holiday.
I had totally missed my waterproof jacket and trousers in this packing video, but I did realise and put them in, adding 630 grams. The total weight of everything apart from food and water was 9 kilograms. Water would have been about 1 kilogram, as I took a litre. My final weight was 13 kilograms. But although I didn't weigh my food, I think there is no way I could have bought 3 kilograms of food. So something is off in my weighing. I used kitchen scales to weigh everything I brought, but human scales to weigh the overall total, and something somewhere doesn't match, but this gives a ballpark idea.
But I think I packed as well as I possibly could have. I'd really welcome in the comments what you think of this, if there's anything you think I'm taking that's unnecessary, or if there's extra stuff you would bring if it was you. Oh, I will say, I haven't decided yet, but there is a small chance, if I have space, that I might try and take my Kindle as well. I know that's a massive luxury item, and last year when I went fast packing, I thought it was very decadent because it is a luxury, and it, you know, for me it's just kind of, if I'm relaxing at camp in the evening, being off my phone is good, so having a Kindle is helpful. But then on that trip I ended up losing my phone completely, and I think I'd have lost my mind if I hadn't had the Kindle when I was kind of trying to rearrange stuff, being at camp, not having any, I mean, I know there is the whole just being in the moment and being with nature, but personally I find solo wild camping quite anxiety inducing, and I find it helpful to have a distraction in order to regulate and not start getting really paranoid that something terrible is about to happen. Anyway, on that cheerful note, I'm going to leave it there. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. For more videos for regular runners, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!